Here's something that confuses me with PlayStation. I wouldn't say it confuses me because I'm judging by the actions rather than the words that are being said. So maybe it's not confusing for some, or maybe some have somehow gone ahead to categorize it in a different way. This is something that still shows itself from time to time as to how PlayStation does its messaging in a very curated way, but its actions are, in many cases, somewhat antithetical to its messaging. Nib95 talked about this. He said, between Herman's quotes on prioritizing exclusive and consoles, plus PlayStation CEO's Nishino's answers, PlayStation execs signaled they will not pursue a multi-platform strategy like Xbox, instead stick to their existing hybrid traditional strategy and high performance focus. Now, what is this hybrid strategy? Because from what I'm seeing, it is a multi-platform strategy more than anything else. I don't care what anybody says. The moment you've taken your game or your work as a publisher to a third-party platform, you are a third-party publisher and you're engaging in multi-platform. What's even funny is Xbox now wants to start selling exclusive subversion machines, which are basically handhelds, potentially other, devices and consoles that will be able to access these games that are going to be on these third-party storefronts. I'm showing you all the Steam here. I can show you the Epic games. So it's not just one place. It's in multiple places that these multi-platform approach games are sitting on in terms of PC. Then you got good old games as well as a third one, which makes it all the more very interesting when you consider what in the world they're talking about pursuing a traditional console model. Now, here's the crazy thing. Nib writes all this stuff regardless of access and yabba dabba dabba dabba, but then he posts this here, which is an article from VGC. PlayStation is being really thoughtful about picking which games support to PC, says Studio Boss. Now, Mr. Holst did say that in the interview where he said, they're taking a thoughtful approach to their third-party games and to their third-party publishing approach. But this is the same man who said that just because one AAA game was going to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game will now come to PC. This is not just a subtle shift. This is a significant shift from the second shift that was after this shift, which the second shift stated that day and date live service was going to be a thing. That was in 2022. This was in 2020. And now in 2025, they're being thoughtful. Man, they've been thinking a lot because investors had to ask them and say, bruh, you got a bunch of games on PC. This was an investor question. This is not a console warrior or somebody who wants to make it sound like PC is not a problem. Bro, Xbox has made PC PlayStation's problem now. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, at first, people could bury their heads in the sand and be like, well, it doesn't affect Xbox, because somehow Microsoft is, Xbox is not doing anything with Windows and blah, 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 blah. But here's Xbox saying, yeah, here's the next Xbox. It's got Windows in it. Goodbye. So investors are asking and saying, what does this even look like with a multi-platform approach? And what I see is they want to explain it away because the PlayStation console experience is designed for immediate gameplay in an immersive, accessible way. Valve has basically undercut that particular notion and has put it on its platform. Xbox is coming next, and so will others. Lenovo with their Legion Go and MSI and everybody are going to be providing hardware that's designed for immediate gameplay and immersive and accessible methodologies to play video games. Oh, we're doing this in a completely integrated way, designing and manufacturing all aspects of chips to the back-end systems. Everybody is doing the same thing. Xbox is. Valve did. Regardless of access, we have many sustainable advantages in our business in store. On our customer side, our first-party exclusive titles enhance our great catalog of third-party content, which keeps players returning and engaging. No, that's not what the data says, and that's not what you guys are committing to in terms of your first-party games. You're committing to at least one every year, which will take the most hardcore PlayStation gamer to ignore the barrage of other games on the Xbox side to then go ahead and invest in your ecosystem pending. That's why Nib95 has a Game Pass subscription. because you guys are not putting out games at the same cadence as, Xbox is. And many of our players subscribe to PS Plus, which also keeps players coming back. Okay. Let's see how long they can basically take the PS Plus subscription route. On whether the new console will focus on cloud gaming is increasingly providing an additional option for players to access content. But our belief is the majority of players want to continue gaming through local execution. Everybody believes that. There's nobody who does not believe that. However, it'll be foolish to not, position yourself for cloud gaming right now. Even Xbox was willing to divest of their cloud gaming, whatever, to Ubisoft in terms of distribution. But that didn't mean that they were not going to basically be lying in wait for cloud gaming to basically become that option that they had for people. So a lot of this, in my opinion, was just a lot of speak. To ask about the industry trend of companies, blah, 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 blah. They said this. It's thoughtful to realize that it's important to realize that we're really thoughtful about bringing our franchises off console to reach new audiences, and we're taking a very measured, very deliberate approach in doing that, particularly on the single-player side. Our tempo titles, they're such a differentiator. The point of differentiation, I would say, is PlayStation console is that we'll showcase the performance and the quality of the hardware. But what is the end goal of this differentiation? To print money. You see, because he first said, do y'all remember when he first said that they were bringing these tempo titles to PC to possibly go ahead and attract PC gamers? Notice he did not mention that in this particular response. Why? Because he doesn't have the data to show that somebody played Marvel Spider-Man 2018 and then ran to go buy a PS5 in a mind that's significant enough compared to just putting the game on there and make it accessible. In fact, what the data showed is that this game showed up on PC much faster than many other games in their cadence. So now gamers are looking and saying, man, there's no reason, if they're on the PC side, we're going to let PlayStation think and chew on it hard enough. And then when they're done thinking and chewing on it, they'll bring it to Steam or Epic Games where we choose to play our games. That's the one thing that's been missing from this whole PlayStation strategy, which is gamers want to game where they want to game. And the moment they continue to pretend as if that's not a thing, the more they're going to continue to see their business and their investors start asking them these critical questions. I guarantee you, these questions literally made them look like Ubisoft in the line of investor questioning. Thankfully, they prepared their responses and scripted their answers, but their investors were asking them, are you ready? That's what the investors were asking. Are you ready? Because the market is changing. Are you ready? They even asked them about the youngins. Did you not, did Nip95, did you not watch the whole thing? They asked them about the young people and said, what if they don't adopt a PlayStation? Did you, I'm thinking to myself, PlayStation fanboys, you cannot shoehorn this whole business thing into just what was answered by the execs. Listen to the questions that the investors were asking. They were asking, okay, how about the young people? How are you going to go ahead and, in a sense, basically capture them if they don't select the play? Because Xbox has got them already ready to go. Should you adopt anything, you can access Xbox's ecosystem. The investors look at Microsoft as the leader in being able to capture audiences. Where Google failed, Stadia failed. Xbox is positioned there waiting for these kids. The moment they basically get their new phone, they can access Xbox's ecosystem. They don't have to spend extra money to do that. They can play their games anywhere. They've been playing their games anywhere. Xbox is very aware of that. They have computer labs in their schools. They're playing their random little games, and Xbox is looking, dude, we have access to billions of gamers. PlayStation is not there, and their investors are trying to figure out if their business can actually do it. I cannot imagine these answers, such as PlayStation console experience is designed for immediate game in an immersive and accessible way. Bro, your browser is designed for immediate gameplay and immersive in an immersive and accessible way. Your browser can do that too. What is this? What? I'm just watching going like, wow, we're still talking on this level? They must be confident in something. Let's wait for how the market treats this, because the market could be weird. It could be that they have a sound business strategy and their investors are just impatient. It could be. But I don't know. I think what's going on is these people are starting to see that, gaming has really, really evolved. And it doesn't matter how you may carry on a traditional business, you really have to at least hedge yourself in the event that a blockbuster-like event takes place. That's my thought on this matter. Thanks for watching. Peace out.